short-term leasing, what I did wrong and right, so you can learn from my mistakes and my profit. So I had one thing that I did right. It was a corporate lease. My Social Security was not attached to this unit. It was a corporate lease only that was made well aware and well known, and my credit was never checked. And if you go back to the EIN series, you will see where I tell you exactly how to do that. Moving on. First thing I did right was that. What I did wrong. The first thing I did wrong, when I signed the lease, even though it was a corporate lease application and I had a verbal understanding with the current property manager, then I did not add like a little arbitration clause at the end of the lease. Technically, you can do that, and you absolutely should do that to protect yourself, because there was a very high turnover rate at that apartment complex, and there was like 5 property managers, and every time one would leave or quit or get fired, a new one would come in and they would have some type of issue or questions, and we'd have to go through the entire thing again. The one that I got the unit with, he was only there for like 3 or 4 months after. I didn't even know he left, but we had really good rapport. No issues. I sent him the tenant's information. There was no problem. And he would say, okay, you just have to, because I had a background check thing attached to my websites that I was running it on. Another thing I did right, I targeted traveling healthcare workers. Their assignments are usually 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer. That is your best bet. Travel workers, anyone coming in town for a corporate event. Granted, they're not going to stay 30 days, but they're probably going to stay like 2 weeks. At least 1 week. You have to target people that are traveling for work, because essentially that's what a corporate lease is. You're getting it for work, so you have to target people that are traveling for work. That was also a thing that I did correctly. Another thing that I did wrong, I had issues. I had so many issues with like trying to figure out, because it's not in the same state that I'm in, with trying to figure out how to get the people actually in the unit and where to put the fob or the access point. And it took me a lot longer to figure that out than it should have. Have that figured out. Have it to where it could be a seamless check-in and check-out process, to where you don't have to worry about it at all. Okay? Another thing I did right, I cleaned my own unit for a while before I started hiring cleaners. The cleaners are fucking ridiculously priced, and I had like a 1-bedroom. I didn't care, and it wasn't that far of a drive, and my people were staying long, so it's not like they were in town for like 1 or 2 nights. No, they were in town for like 30 to 60 days, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me just to make the drive and clean the unit. How long did it take before I made money? 3 months, and then I was in the green. I'm running out of time though. But yeah, I was in the green after 3 months, but you have to have the money. If there's any security deposit, you have to pay that. You have to furnish the entire unit, and you have to be able to pay the rent and the bills until you do get in the green. But after 3 months, I was able to make profit, pay all the bills. I had made all the money that I put into the unit, and my investment was finally starting to pay off. Unfortunately, Hurricane Helene hit the area that my unit was in pretty bad, and due to liability reasons with short-term rental companies, you cannot have people in the unit under distress. And who would want to be there? It took a while to get things back in order in that area, so I just ended up letting it go. And it was a mutual understanding with the company as well, so it's not like I broke a lease. But yeah. Hope this helps. Love you. Bye.